Thank you, Dr. Professor Mathis.
Yep.
My name is Rich Fontaine, as he just said, and I am an entrepreneur, an author, and a publisher. So I know this class is for entrepreneurship. Why are we want to be entrepreneurs? Anyone can answer. Why, sir, back there, why do you want to be an entrepreneur?
Freedom to do what I want, when I want, and have my own business and ideas.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Anyone else? You have to have a reason, right? Okay.
I think it's important to know how to sell yourself and sell your brand and who you are.
That's very good. That's a very good reason to take this class. Anyone else? Or are you just trying to get a credit? Believe it or not, I actually went to this school. I graduated from UCF in 2012 with a bachelor's in civil engineering.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I turned to entrepreneurship. And there's a reason why, which we'll talk about today, but the reason why I want to ask why you want to be entrepreneurs is because I always feel anything you do has to have a reason, a purpose, a rhyme, and a reason to do anything. Because if, Steve Jobs said, it's so hard that most people is going to quit. But if you have a purpose, a real drive on why you do what you do, you won't quit because that's your life's mission. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about, because I'm in an industry where many people market themselves, but have no reason why they market themselves. They just do it following trends, doing what everyone else is doing, but they have no rhyme and reason or purpose, I should say, on why they do anything. So one of my first books that I wrote was called Destiny on Purpose. It's how to get what you truly want out of life. And I actually spoke about it last year here at the Fairwinds Express seminar, basically speaking to students just like yourself about that book and what it means so much to me. And since we're going to talk about marketing, I will talk about purposeful marketing. And purposeful marketing to me is 3 pillars. One is, I speak with a gentleman named Les Brown. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a motivational speaker, certified with him. And one of the things he taught me was impact drives income. So if you're going to do anything, let it be impactful. If it's impactful, people will remember your name, people will tell people about your brand, they will go around and reference you and use you as referrals. That's only if you actually impact. But if you go into a business, a sales commission job, just for the sole fact to make money, probably the opposite is going to happen. I graduated in 2012, and it's about 2019 now. I've seen 3 businesses tank. One of my first jobs that I had, that business no longer exists. It's called Eco Construction and Maintenance. You can look it up on Google. It dropped in 2016. The owner of the company was solely about profits. Just working there, you could tell. He tried to cut corners. He didn't want to pay good wages to his staff. And he only cared about the bottom line. And he ended up bankrupt. The last company I was just in, I feel that they're headed towards the same direction. So I had to finally make a decision. Am I going to be a part-timepreneur or an entrepreneur? And I decided to take the leap of faith to be an entrepreneur. Why? Because I was purposeful in my mission. That's one. 2 is how to have a powerful, purposeful message. Some of the great industries, companies that you know and you use today have a purposeful message. Like when you think of Starbucks, I see her drinking her cup there. You have a specific idea of what Starbucks is. You can tell they don't shift. They know their niche and they stick with that niche. And everything that they endorse or go around has to do with that niche of bringing the European type of cafes to the world. The owner that started the company went to Europe once in France. I actually came back from Paris about a few weeks ago. And I met a guy on there. He said, I noticed that on his finger, he had his wedding ring on the wrong finger. And I said, sir, why do you have your wedding ring on the wrong finger? He said, because I married the wrong woman. That's a joke, actually, but just to liven things up. So I came to Paris and I noticed the cafes there, they don't rush you out. a lot of places here in the US, it's kind of a fast-paced environment. Hey, here's your product, you pay me, you leave. In Europe, you could literally be in a cafe for 2, 3, 4 hours, hanging out. They don't care. They serve you very slow. And the owner of Starbucks wanted that type of environment in his chain. So that's why you go to Starbucks, they're never rushing you out. You could actually hang out there, drink your coffee, and it kind of becomes that type of mentality. So when you have a purposeful message, people know you from that message, which drives impact and helps you remember who they are. And thirdly is how to stay the course in your marketing strategies. Again, entrepreneurship is so difficult that most people will quit. Half of the people that you go into business with, startups, they won't last because it is that difficult. So if you don't have a real deep urge on why you do what you do, a smart person will quit, which all of you are smart college students. I'm a smart college student as well. But I realized that until I had a purpose, I was never going to be truly successful. So that's the 3 things that I want to talk to you today about. So, my name is again Rich Fontaine. My company is called Power of Self, Entertainment and Publishing. What we do is we host seminars for speakers, as well as authors, as well as we publish our own books. But we only publish a specific niche. Our goal is to inspire the world. So only books that which I think that was misspelled, I gotta talk to my editor. If the only thing that we publish is things that are inspirational. So motivational books, stories that impact others. So if anyone came to me with just a romance novel or just an adventure book, I wouldn't publish it because it doesn't fit our niche. Our niche is to inspire the world. So again, that's my purpose, that's my mission statement. And everything that I do aligns with that. So with anyone that knows my brand, Rich Fontaine, Power of Self Entertainment, know that it is only about impacting and inspiring other people. So I had a person want to come and speak at one of my seminars, and he wanted to speak about a different type of industry, and we kind of told him no. The reason for our seminars is to motivate and inspire. So when every time somebody sees my logo, they know that is what I bring to the table. And also we teach other people to write their own books and publish their own books. My next book that's coming out is called Write to Grow Rich, because my name is Rich and I write to grow rich. So that is the name of my next book, and it's going to help entrepreneurs write their first book, publish it, and basically get away from the pitfalls, because I learned everything from scratch. I went to a publisher, he ended up taking my money and doing absolutely nothing with it except publishing it. It wasn't even on Amazon, you couldn't look it up on Google, it was a disaster. But that helped me learn, okay, if I want to do my own thing, I have to learn. And I learned all the ins and outs about publishing, marketing, and how to become a full entrepreneur, which to me it was a blessing in disguise. So as I learned that, I started teaching other people how to do the same thing without going through the same pitfalls. Again, helping other people, inspiring them. So, a little bit about myself. I'm a Les Brown certified public speaker. I've spoken with Les Brown several times on stages. We actually did last year in the Tampa Theater. It was a packed building. It's actually weird, like this is cool for me, but having a jam-packed auditorium is a little bit daunting because a lot of people came to see him and I opened for him, but it was probably the one blissful experience I've ever had because it showed me that I had the ability to do whatever I wanted to do. And the simple fact, when I met him, he came to Orlando, Florida, and I was just in awe by him. I was in a down place in my life, and I just listened to him every single day. And I was so inspired by him. And when I heard he was coming to Florida, I said, well, I gotta go meet this man. And I met him. He was he's so down to earth, it's incredible. And he said, hey, you know, I'm teaching speakers how to speak and become entrepreneurs. Would you like to be part of my program? I said, yeah, absolutely. He said, okay, well, send me a video of you speaking. And if you are chosen, you can speak with me on stage at a small venue. I sent in a video, blessings from above, I got chosen, spoke with him, and now, I travel and speak to other entrepreneurs as well, sharing my story. I'm a 4-time author, and I'm a founder of my own company, which is neat. And the reason I started a publishing company is for the same reason. I think entrepreneurs have to scratch their own itch. I wanted to be an author. I couldn't find a publisher. I finally found a publisher that said, hey, I'll take you on, but he didn't do anything for me. And so when you scratch your own itch, I said, okay, I want to start a company that I don't want to just take people's money. I want to help push you out there, teach you all the ins and outs, and become the best author, entrepreneur you could possibly be. So that was my purpose. It was my drive. That pushes me to pillars, to pillars, to pillars, to meeting, this is Pat David. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's, $500 million net worth. Man, he owns an insurance company, huge, PHP, people helping people. If you can find him on YouTube, called Valuetainment. Met him one day, really cool guy, and helped push me, endorse me, because I feel when you're purposeful, you meet people that see that in you, see that same drive in your eyes, and are willing to help you. I'm also the author of a new book that's coming out in October called The Nerd Who Saved the Universe. It's for middle school kids. It's about a young man that is bullied a lot in school, doesn't have really good self-esteem, lacks self-esteem, but finds his courage within his own imagination and ends up being the bully. As you can see, he's stepping on the bully, he gets the girl, and his friends, even the ones that used to bully him, starts praising him. And I think that the story is real symbolic to me of life itself, that life's gonna push a lot of things on you. It's gonna make you try to make you feel small. But if you can think broader, and if you could have that courage, you can do whatever you wanna do and reach any goal, and that's what I mean by defeating your bully. And of course, Destiny on Purpose and Right to Grow Rich. So, just before I begin in the marketing point, I just want to talk a little bit about myself. That's me, and that is my niece. She's about 10 years old now, which is crazy when you see her. It's like, wow, night and day. Many people don't know, before I got my engineering degree, I failed out of UCF because I didn't keep the grade point average. At the time, I was overweight, and then I got arrested for DUI and possession. And so it was a very down time in my life, which to me, those down times are your best blessings, if you can look at them that way. I told myself that that wasn't the person I wanted to be. I was hanging with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, and I knew that in order for me to be the person I needed to be, I had to be purposeful and driven. So I found a purpose as in, I want to be the best version I could possibly be. So I started disciplining myself in extreme ways. I studied all the time. I actually worked part-time. I drove. I woke up at 4 a.m., had a class at 6 a.m., studied all the way to 3 p.m., had to work at T-Mobile at the time from 3:30 to 10 closing, drive home to about 11 midnight, and do it all over again the next day. And then drive over here for the weekends. I lived at Claremont at the time. But I knew I had to make those type of sacrifices, stop hanging with friends, certain friends. Actually, I stopped hanging with a lot of people. I started reading more books. One of the greatest books I've ever read was Napoleon Hill, How to Think and Grow Rich. And it changed my mindset of everything. How I did, how I thought, and who I hung out with, how I spoke, how I dressed, everything. And it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. One of my other mentors named Jim Rohn, you can look him up on YouTube, very, very inspiring person. He says people change from either inspiration or desperation. At the time, I was in desperation. Then I found these mentors, I found inspiration. And then my whole life kind of changed. And that's just, I like to tell people that story that says things are not going to be easy for you, which is a good thing, because every time things are a little bit harder, it makes you stronger, it makes you more focused, and it makes you more impactful, which is my whole duty is I want to impact people in the most positive way. So I don't just go talking, I want to make sure you know that you'll have ebb and flows in life, but as long as you can stay focused on the dream, on the mission, on the purpose, you'll accomplish it. And it's amazing. You'll meet so many good people that want to help you out as well. So let's talk to you about the marketing standpoint. Again, impact drives income. The questions are, why should they buy from you instead of the next person? So if you're selling cookies, so sir, in the Puma. All right, so say you want to be an entrepreneur, correct? What do you want to sell?
I don't know, kind of one-sided.
Hey, I know. Life comes at you fast, man. So, if you are going to be an entrepreneur, and there's plenty of entrepreneurs in this room, why should I buy from you and not him in the hat?
I don't know, get some mindful.
A lot of likable people, man. So, the reason I ask that is, that's a good question to ask yourself if you're going to be in this class. Why do I want to be an entrepreneur? What do I want to sell? And how do I want to sell it different than the next person? That's a question you should always ask yourself. Why would they want to buy from me and not the next person? Every single Alibaba, Amazon, Google, they all have a specific reason why you choose me versus the next guy. The reason they overlap Yahoo is they said, I want a search drive engine that didn't bombard you with advertisement. That was their whole goal, that was their whole mission. They even went to Yahoo and said, hey, I have this idea. And they said, well, how are we going to make money if we can't advertise? He said, well, I don't know, but I know it's a great idea. It's something in me that says, hey, there's two guys, I think. There's something in us that says, hey, this is the future. People don't like advertisement. I hate when I go to Yahoo and I have all these advertisements. How can we do this? Yahoo said, okay, you know what, I'll buy it from you from, it was a terrible amount. And they're like, you know what, let's just do it ourselves. It was the biggest mistake Yahoo ever made. Because Google obviously, who still uses Yahoo?
I have both.
Yeah, both. Does anybody use Yahoo solely? Okay, how many people use Google? Points. Point taken. So they came in with a specific mission on to have a search engine that nobody else had at the time. That's why they're successful. They said, okay, this is the reason you're going to choose me versus anyone else. And there's tons of Bing, Ask, Jeeves, and everybody uses Google because Google knew the future. So what are you doing to make people's lives better because your business was started? So, sir, that looks like, man, it's a basketball player. Who's the guy that played on the Lakers, the center? Sorry, you look just like him. But, what's your name, sir?
AC.
AC. So, you say you want to be an entrepreneur, correct? How would you change people's lives since you started your business? How would people's lives change?
That's hard to say because I don't have a product right now.
That's fine. So, even if you don't have a product, think of a mission. I'm a big T.D. Jakes fan. I don't know if anybody ever heard T.D. Jakes. But he says, before you want position, have a mission. And that always stuck with me. Is when you have a mission, the position will come. Most people go to college, they get jobs because, hey, I want a high-end position. There's no real reason behind it. If you look at, we live in an industrial age. The people that started the industrial age was Henry Ford, J.D. Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan Chase, Andrew Carnegie, all these great men. And they each one, I read all their biographies, had a specific mission on why they were doing what they were doing. Specific. Even if they didn't have a product. When J.P. Morgan Chase endorsed Thomas Edison for the light bulb, he saw the light bulb and saw his vision was mass cities full of light. This is before people were still using candles, but he had a vision. When Andrew Carnegie, he built the first, you ever heard of U.S. Steel? It was the first conglomerate steel mill. That's before anyone ever used steels for anything. He saw across the Michigan River, he said, you know, I want to build a bridge. He didn't know how he was going to do this, but he had a vision. He said something like, I know we could build a bridge across this river, we'll do more import and export, so people didn't have to go around the country just to build imports and exports. Because he was bringing in, he was part of the train. He started his career in the railroads. And he said, if we could have a bridge, we could have railroads going across this river, and that will help more people get more products. He had a mission. And again, he was bankrupt twice before he accomplished his mission. He didn't quit because that was his mission. Everybody else that wanted to do steel, there was multiple people. Quit, quit, quit. He was the only one that said, I see this vision, I'm gonna see it through to the end. That's why he became one of the first billionaires of this country. Because he didn't stop, he had a specific mission. So always ask yourself, how will people's lives be better since I started this product? What makes you different than the next person, again another? And to me, where is your heart at? I truly feel that when your heart is in something, you'll accomplish it. Again, if it's just for the money, it's just for the bottom line, just for position, is it just because I want to impress that girl across the street, or I want to impress that guy, I can promise you it's not going to happen. But if your heart's in it, if it's something that speaks to you, it's your passion, even deeper than your passion, it's your purpose. Like, I cannot leave this planet without accomplishing this, you'll accomplish it. That I could guarantee you. Every biography I've ever read of any great entrepreneur, I just read Jeff Bezos' biography, and it's amazing. And he just had a vision. His heart was in it. He loved books. He said, I want to sell books online before e-commerce was a big thing, when the internet bubble just popped. When people were like, sell books online, you're gonna lose all your money. Don't do it. He said, you know what, I had this vision that people could buy books online easy. Because I look for books all the time, I can't find them. And so he had a specific vision on what he wanted to do. So I want to talk about the 5 pillars of purposeful marketing. This is how I market my books. This is how I market online. This is how people know me. And this is how I see all the great, even now, entrepreneurs move. One is name recognition. Again, I speak with Les Brown. I use a certification. That helps open doors for me, because if they know Les Brown, they say, okay, well, you work with Les Brown, I'm willing to hear from you. So name recognition is a very big thing. So even in colleges, sometimes you apply for college. I went to UCF. They say, oh, that's a prominent school. Cool, I'll take a chance on you. Versus maybe Rollins. Not dissing anybody from Rollins, but you know, it's just, there's different levels to this thing. So even when I apply for jobs, I always put on the front lines, UCF student. Why? Because that helped open doors for me. So when you market yourself, always try to connect with some type of name recognition that somebody recognized as a good establishment. 2 is purpose. What is your mission? One of the first things, I remember I went to a college fair here, career fair, I'm sorry, and one of the guys asked me, what position do you want? I told him I want to be a project manager. This is when I was working in construction. Well, this is my senior year. And I told him I want to be a project manager. He said, okay, you know, you can come intern for me. And the reason he told me, the reason he said, I want you to intern for me, I spoke to 50 students today. And I asked them that same question. Nobody gave me an answer. Oh, I mean, I just want to start somewhere. Whatever job you have, I'll take. Since I had a purpose, I was very specific at what I wanted. He said, okay, that's a person that knows where he's going. I'd rather work with him than somebody with an A++. I've been hired at jobs, they said, well, your grades are great, but we didn't hire you for your grades. We hired you because you knew what you wanted. Of course, we're not going to start you as a project manager, but we put you on that type of pathway. So if you're going to have a business, be purposeful. Say, this is what we do, this is what we offer. When you think of Apple, what do you think of?
Innovation?
Great one. Their model was, people who think they're crazy enough to change the world are usually the ones that do. They always thought future innovation. So that when Steve Jobs was alive, everything he did was to innovate, innovate, innovate. How can we move it forward? So when people buy Apple computers, even they had that commercial of Mac and PC, you know, the Mac was the young, cool, hip kid, while PC was an old guy in a big, giant suit. That was their idea of we're the new, we're moving forward. They're the old, they won't change. And so when you have a purpose, people know you for that purpose, you're gonna buy that product. I already see an Apple computer. Why did you buy that? Both of you, quick question, 3 of you, holy moly. Oh, he hasn't done. So why did you buy your laptop?
My school background required maths, so.
You just required it. Okay. Oh, that's a good reason. I gotta ask you in school why they required it. You, sir?
It's trendy, I guess.
Trendy? Why not a Mac? Macs aren't trendy? I mean, not Mac, PCs aren't trendy?
I mean, it depends on what you use it, I guess.
What do you use yours for?
Study.
To study? But is it the sleek design? Do you think that may have
Yeah,
attracted
sure.
you? Yeah, it's different, right? Like yours glow in the dark, man. I mean, there's no PCs that glow in the dark. Why did you choose that PC or that Mac?
Due to the fact that it's able to sync to multiple devices and its efficiency.
Its efficiency?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the looks?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's okay.
Sleek, right? Right? So that's part of the reason why having a purposeful product and vision will sell, I mean, tremendously. When people know, oh, I go for you for this, they'll buy. Thirdly is trust. Can I trust you? I believe in giving things out for free. Have you ever heard of famous Amos Cookies? He created a $1 billion business in those cookies by giving them for free. He would go on Sunset Boulevard and hand out these cookies for free. Annie Ann's, those little cookies, Miss Fields, all the same thing. They used to go out and give those cookies and products for free. Because why would anyone buy from you if I don't know your product? So when I do my books, I usually go out, read chapters. For Destiny on Purpose, I had a YouTube channel where I broke down every single one of my chapters on that channel for that book. And I sold more books that way than I did just say, hey, come buy my book. People saw, hey, okay, I like what he's saying. Wow, this book actually sounds interesting. I'll go ahead and buy it. Because I gave something for free. It's called the law of compensation. I'm a big Napoleon Hill fan, so I'm gonna use a lot of his stuff. But he calls it the law of compensation. When you give, you should receive. You know, the old Bible verse, give, you shall receive. I mean, it's laden with significance because whenever I give something for free, I always get it back. So when I give information for free, even just like this, somebody says, hey, I'm interested in your product, I'm interested in you, I'm willing to buy from you, hear more about you, invite you to speak for other places because I give for free. I used to go out speaking for free. This is for free. I do it all the time. Why? Because I want people to know what I have to offer versus trying to get your money. Because the money comes with the impact. 4 is cost. Always give over value than what you're paid for. Whenever you can give over, I think Mac gives over value. They're constantly, every year, changing their system. They overvalue. They want to get value, 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 value. That's what, it's like a cult. People have to get there. I was like, I'm never getting an iPhone. Never, never, never. I love my Galaxy, my Samsung. I'm not doing it. I got an iPhone. There's something about these, keep innovating. I'm like, you know what? All right, you guys got me. When you overvalue, people will always come to you. So always, don't think of cost. Think of, okay, how can I over-deliver and keep the price low? And 5, and this is the most important, is connection. Appear to people's emotional side. If you watch the old McDonald's commercial, how McDonald's really became huge, it wasn't because they're all over the place. This was before they were all over the place. It was because they said, we want to bring family dinners back. This was back in the 1960s, I believe, and this is when Roy Kroc took over. A lot of people were in the industrial age, a lot of men were going out, working late nights, and the women were home with the kids. And by the time the husband got home, you know, dinner was cold, he didn't have a chance to eat. So they had a motto that said, hey, we want to bring family dinners back. And when they had good commercials, they always showed the kids having the happy meal with the happy family, eating. That's a vision that gets into your mind. Even if you don't realize it, you're watching this commercial and say, hey, the wife says, I want a family dinner. Honey, when you get home, let's meet at McDonald's. It's quick, fast, so you don't have to get taken away from work, and we'll have family dinners. That's how they grew their empire, for appearing to people's emotional side. So when you appear to people's emotional side, you'll forget what people say, always, but you'll never forget how somebody made you feel. Like that one person as a kid, you know, maybe that bully that made you upset, you remember him. But maybe Joe Schmo that was up to class, that may have said something to you. Like, I had a guy reach me on Facebook, hey, you remember me in 3rd grade? Mm-mm. But I remember Fabian Gonzalez. I haven't seen him in years because we had problems with each other. So I remember him. I remember his name, last name, Fabian Gonzalez, because he appeared to my emotional side, even positive or negative. You're always, even when you think of 9/11, before the towers fell, that was just a date. But when you hear that date, you think of those towers. Why? Because it appeared to your emotions. Whenever you could do any type of marketing that touches people's heart, they will always remember you. So to me, that's huge. That's my biggest take. So, a little bit of a shameless plug for myself. So again, every book that I do is for inspiring people. This book, The Nerve to Save the Universe, I'm actually donating part of the proceeds to anti-bullying foundations, which has helped me tremendously in marketing. This lady, she owns an anti-bullying in Missouri. I never met her. I met her on Instagram. And I told her, hey, you know, I love what you're doing. I would like to donate, for every book I sell, I want to donate $1 to $2 to your program. She said, oh my God, that's amazing, thank you. Her daughter, she gave a book to her daughter. Her daughter loves it, told all her friends. Now all her friends are promoting it on Instagram. Why did that happen? Because it wasn't just about me. I do things to inspire people. And so once you do something to help somebody else out, they want to help you out. That is the biggest peer-to-peer marketing, is probably the best marketing you could ever have. When you go to a restaurant, you don't go to a restaurant because of the commercial. You go to the restaurant because your friend told you about it, right? Like if your friend came to you, oh man, you got to try this pizza. It was the best pizza I've had ever. I'm trying the pizza. I had a friend, he never had Pita Pit. He always had Taco Bell. Loved Taco Bell. One day we were at the house. This is when I was still in school. And he was like, man, I'm hungry. We should get some food. I was like, sure. You want to go to Pita Pit? He was like, what's Pita Pit? You want to go to Taco Bell? I'm like, no, let's just try Pita. You never had Pita Pit? Let's try it. I love it. Gave him Pita Pit. He's like, I'm never eating Taco Bell ever again. That's the reason why when somebody endorses you that you trust, you'll go with them forever. So that's why when you do things to help other people, people automatically, it's just human beings. We love to help each other. We'll want to go and help you. So if you're going to have a product, think of some way you can help somebody else in any way, shape, or form. I promise you that is the best marketing you'll ever have. If they say, man, Rich is such a cool guy. I met him, he's awesome, he's nice. Like Sheila, he said, great endorsement. I met Sheila, I spoke with her, she was at my book launch, great person. And she said, hey, I would love for you to bring Richard on for your class. I would have probably never met Professor Mathis any other way. I could have promoted to him, I could have emailed him, he'd be like, you know, some solicitor. But since Sheila came to him, he said, you know what, come to my class. He didn't even hesitate. I saw the email. He was like, yeah, bring him in. Because since there was a relationship there, and that me and Sheila have a relationship, now me and him have a relationship. That's marketing. Marketing is not just the big banners and brochures. Marketing is direct connection to other human beings. So as I donated, like it was crazy. Like this girl has about 25,000 followers, and then she posted on my thing, and I started getting likes. It's just, it's wild how things can happen in a blink of an eye, just when you actually help people. And this is actually the commercial to, or the trailer to my book. I would like to play it for you guys. If you don't mind, can I play it for you? Awesome. And try to pay attention to what I'm doing with this marketing. So I have a book, and my book is for kids. So I wanted something that would appear to kids and moms. Because moms care about their kids. I mean, dads do as well, but moms truly, really care about their kids. So I wanted to put, I had some moms at a show for me, and I sat with their kids and had a conversation with them. They go around endorsing my book like there's no tomorrow. Oh, you have to meet this guy, Rich Fontaine. Because I sat with their kids, I had a connection with them. And since the moms have a connection with their kids, they said, well, if he has a connection with them, I now have a connection with them. So just check this out and see if you can pull out what we're talking about today. Sorry, do we have volume? Is there volume?
Yeah, you see it on the little one?
Yeah, I don't know if it's playing or not.
That may be the problem.
Come on, wake up.
Meet Ernest.
There we go. Awesome. Did everybody hear it? Excellent.
Meet Ernest. Ernest, like many of the kids nowadays, doesn't have many friends, is made fun of in school, and is chased by bullies. He doesn't feel worthwhile about himself, and has low self-esteem because of his small, thin frame and oversized glasses. He's a nerd that doesn't even get good grades, but has courageous heart that is yearning to be unleashed. So, he retreats in his mind, which is exploding with imagination, to his regular, unpopular life into an outstanding adventure. He lives in his fantasy world, until one day the real world became the adventure, and he becomes prey to a real-life monster, the bully of bullies, but with some imagination, faith from an angel. The Knights of Epic encouraging him on finding the keys to greatness within himself, he'll face his bullies and become the nerd who saved the universe. By author Rich Fontaine. Pre-order or order now.
Cool. So, as you can see, that the book is not just a story, but it's a story that's impactful. Florida's suicide rate has increased among young adults. I think it was like 4.5% in the United States, and now it's up to about 5 point something. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes here. Bullying, there's an anti-bullying group for Florida that is abysmal. I went to their website, they don't do anything. It's like, see something, tell something. But if anyone remembers when you were 13, 12, you know, you didn't have the confidence or self-esteem to say anything about it. So you just kind of allow it to happen. Especially with cyber bullying, that hits an all-time high, that there's many kids that have no outlet for this. And there's groups that are really trying to push anti-bullying, but don't really have the funding, not really pushed. So when I came up with this concept of this book, it was something that was bigger for me, that I wanted to make a change in that, where we can look at somebody that's smaller, different, and not look at them as strange or a nerd, and actually embrace who you are, regardless of it. Regardless of anyone says, you embrace your uniqueness and who you are. So when I came up with this, I thought that marketing was amazing. And I actually sat with some kids where a video we're gonna push out, talking about bullying. And they were very open about it, that we're posting up online. And a lot of mothers were gravitated towards it. Like even just the behind the scene clips of me talking to the kids, I've had like 50 friend requests this month, just because of this video coming out. Because people care, they really, really do. And when they know that you care, they kind of care about you. Les Brown told me, people don't care about you until they see how much you care about them. One of the greatest takeaways I've ever had. If you don't remember anything I say today, remember that. People don't care about you until they realize how much you care about them. And once I really put that out there, that I do care, is the law of compensation. More and more things are coming my way. So, cool. Again, my other book was Destiny on Purpose. This was more for adults on the things I've learned, how I changed my life. It's the 20 laws of success. Things like compensation, things about mindset. Just all the things I've learned from all these great books and all these great teachers, all these great inspirational people that taught me that once I started adopting into my life, I mean, things started changing, doors started opening, and good things started happening. And so again, you could see part of my marketing was a little Photoshop, friend did. But a lot of people, just for that picture alone, saw, oh, I love Michelle Obama. The picture's not about Michelle Obama, but it attracted you, and then you started looking at the book. You saw Beyonce, you started looking at the book. And I sold tons of books that way, because they weren't looking, they thought they were looking at the picture, but subconsciously I was getting them to look at the book. So I said, oh yeah, I started writing blurbs about Michelle Obama, I started writing blurbs about Beyonce's work ethic, and I started writing these things. They're like, oh well, I'm inspired by these people. But subconsciously, I'm seeing your book. And I said, people, hey man, is your book on Amazon? Saying, hey, can I find your book? And I just started selling books that way, and audiobooks as well. So, name recognition. Trust. This is a video that I did. I have several videos of me talking about the book. Again, giving free content. So people already started to get to know me on a personal level before they even buy the book. So whatever you're trying to sell, if you can connect with people on a personal level, give them something for free, they'll remember your product. And they'll keep coming back to you and say, hey, before I buy, I already got a sample. Okay, I know this guy knows what he's talking about. So I'll buy from him. And of course, again, connection, how to improve others' lives. The book is about improving other people's lives. So that's the reason why people started buying, because they're like, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be successful. I want things to change. Things are not going well in my life. If he can go from overweight, kicked out of college, DUI for possession, and come in and be a civil engineer, work as a project manager for Universal Studios and Disney, work in hotels, be around Florida, speak around the country, speak with Les Brown. Like, this guy must know something I might not know. And so those type of things help me sell my books and my product and myself. And one of the biggest reasons, and I hope you guys remember this today, one of the biggest reasons why connecting with people is so important in your marketing is we're hitting a peer-to-peer age. So we went through the industrial age, to the technology age, to the informational age where we're in now, where people want information. How do I, like you're in this class, how do I become a better entrepreneur? How do I become a better business person? How do I become a better student, better person? But we're entering to a new age where I call the peer-to-peer age. Products like Uber, where it's not a company that's driving you, it's your peers. It's somebody that is up the street from you that's driving you to your places. DoorDash, it's not a company, it's your peers delivering to. Airbnb, it's staying in your peers' homes. Turo, it's using your peers' cars. So we're entering into a more peer-to-peer direct connection with the internet. And so if people think, oh, I know that guy, he's a jerk, I promise you they're not gonna buy from you. They know you. And people are gonna refer you as that. I've seen it happen. I've seen people say, hey, I wanna work with that guy. I didn't work with him. I'm like, hey man, what do you think about this guy? He said he's interested in coming and working with my business. What do you think? I work with him. No, I wouldn't. All right, cool. I trust you, so I'm not going to work with him. Your reputation will follow you. So becoming more of an impactful person, working on yourself, is probably the greatest investment you could possibly do at this point in time. Because if people know you, they like you, say that person's a good person, they will buy from you. Just, if you don't remember anything, trust me on this. Trust me on this. It's going to be more peer-to-peer. Everything is going to be a direct connection. Direct connection. Even entrepreneurship, people are working out of their own homes. I blog from my home. I write blogs for people from my home. The reason they hired me to blog for them is because, one, name recognition. Oh, he worked with Next Les Brown. One, credibility. Oh, he writes books, so obviously he could blog. Like before I ever wrote any blog, just from me putting myself out there and showing the things I did in the community, helping the kids. Oh, he's a good person, I want to work with him. Before I ever typed anything. The peer-to-peer is the way of the future. So if you think you could be behind the wall, like we used to be, where you could be a business and treat people any type of way, talk about anyone any type. I was in an industry where your name follows you, especially in construction. Construction is a very small industry. Your name follows you. If a subcontractor knows, hey, I've seen it, don't work with that subcontractor. I've been in meetings where we have a list of subcontractors, and we said, okay, there's 3 electrician companies. This one has the lowest bid. Should we hire them? No, I've worked with them before. They're terrible. Don't hire them. So what they would do, is I hope this don't get in trouble with this, it's like an industry secret, but I'm helping you guys out. What they would do is they'll actually add contingency money to their bid to raise their bid up higher. So when the architect and owner sees the price, he thinks they're a higher bid price. Why? Because the GC, the contractor, didn't want to work with that subcontractor. Your name, your reputation will follow you. Your name will precede you. Before you walk into the door, your reputation, your name will walk in before you. So I always feel, work on yourself, work on who you are, work on your heart, work on the person you want to be way before you even start a business, because it will follow you. Cool. So, how to have a purposeful message? Again, have a mission. How you improve people's lives, inspire others, connect with them. Even when people post now, they always try to put something positive because they want to get a connection with you. They don't want to just show you a product because there's so many products. You're scrolling through, you're seeing 100 products a day. But if there's something that connects with you emotionally, you'll stop and take a look. Even when I'm busy, if there's something that I said, man, that touched me in some type of way. Like I'll see a guy with his baby, he's like, oh, I just had a new son. Oh, I'll stop and like that post because that's something that caught me emotionally. And community. How do you bring people together? People, like I love working with Sheila because she's always thinking of how to bring people together. And when you bring people together, you're connecting the dots. You're adding a web. And each time you add a web, you're the center of that web. So everybody's going to remember who connected them. For example, just give you an example so we get away from books. Just so you, in any industry, this works. My wife is a full-time entrepreneur. She runs a spa. She does eyelashes and makeup and skincare for women. And first thing she did was community. She started a group to empower women in the beauty industry. So women that are nails, hair, other makeup artists, like she didn't want to have competition. So she said, instead of competition, let's bring together and work with each other. So I refer people to you, you refer people to me. And when the clients see that, they say, you know, I like this woman, especially other women. She said, wow, because other women do their best to try to tear each other down. A woman that comes in and tries to bring other women together, that's powerful. I want to work with her. There's a woman from Daytona Beach that drove, she lives in downtown Orlando. She drives every 2 weeks to get her lashes done from her. Not somebody in Daytona, but all the way downtown Orlando. Why? Because her reputation precedes her. They just know her as her spirit. Oh, she's such a nice woman. I want to be around somebody like that wants to bring community together. That's huge. Also, mission. She's a very Zen person, if you ever see her. You know, she's one of these, you know, meditator, the whole thing. And her spa brings that energy. So when people go there, they don't go there just to get their lashes done. They like the environment. She plays nice music. She has the smoke playing. It's very, very Zen. And when they walk in there, they literally always fall asleep. And these are hard-working women that will hustle bust. I gotta pick up the kids. I gotta go to work. I gotta make sure my husband's happy. All these, you know, all this pressure. They have an hour a day every 2 weeks where they can just. That's her mission. She wants women to just be able to. And when they do that, they come to her she has to turn people down because they refer her so much. They're like, where'd you get your lashes done? Oh, girl, I got it from Simply Jazz Spa. Ooh, I've had her, she showed me messages. Hey, can I come to your spa? She said, I'm booked, I'm sorry. That makes her even more, people want her even more. So those referrals, it works in any industry. So when you can bring a purposeful mission and you help other people, you do something in their lives, they'll never forget you. They'll refer people to you and they'll keep coming back. I tell you, peer-to-peer marketing, and she doesn't market. I market way more than she does. She doesn't market online. She does maybe little things here, little things there, but she doesn't market. It's all referrals. And she's booked because she comes with a specific mission. Works in any industry. And of course, inspiration. Again, Apple. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. That was their original model. That's why people originally started buying Apple products. They wanted something innovative, something new, and they wanted to be inspired. Like his first commercial was a black and white commercial of Albert Einstein, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, all these great inventors. And people were inspired by that because people have purpose and mission inside them. Said, man, I want to be like these people. It has nothing to do with computers. Their marketing had nothing to do. Not one time they showed a computer in that whole commercial. People ran to the store to buy from it because it was inspirational. Nike, just do it. If you watch Nike commercials, what they show is hard-working athletes. Like if you want to be a hard-working athlete, get off your butt, just do it. Don't complain, don't make excuses, just do it. People said yes. It was inspirational. I want to be like Michael Jordan. I guess I have to just do it. And again, we talked about McDonald's, family dinners, bringing people together. That type of marketing are juggernauts. They're juggernauts. People will always go for the thing that touched their hearts. But if you just sell a product, here, buy my product, here, buy, I've seen it. Nobody's gonna buy from you because there's 100 different people trying to sell something. What makes you different than the next guy? What is your mission? What is your purpose? Lastly, it's just some tidbits to take away, is think global. How can you affect the world? You know, if you think of Amazon, Alibaba, Starbucks, McDonald's, like I was in Europe, in France, and I saw McDonald's everywhere. And I'm like, these people are everywhere. It's the craziest thing, is they are global. They want to affect the world, and they want to be in every single niche on the planet. So if you're going to market to people in Asia. Like right now, I teach kids how to speak English from Korea. To me, I'm planting seeds, because I teach them English. You know, they teach me a little bit of Korean. I want that to be a market for myself. I want to go into Asia. I want to have the nerd in Japanese. Disney's all over the world. If you go to Europe, you'll see signs of Disney movies all over Europe. Marvel. Why? Because they think global. They're not trying to stay in their own community. They want to affect the world. 2, think customer first. Give. Doesn't matter how you give, just give them something. Always think customer. The reason Amazon is such a juggernaut, and I'm thinking they're going to be a monopoly, they really are, is because they think customer service first. Every time I have an issue with Amazon, I call it customer service. It's taken care of like that. And I refer people, I'm like, man, Amazon is awesome. They always think of me first. That's the reason I choose Amazon than any other company, because they're always thinking about customer. Be innovative. Don't be afraid to try something new and unorthodox. Like I want to do anti-bullying, and I have some nerd kid that's in this fantasy world. It's different, it's new, but it attracts people. I've never seen anything like that before that's different. So don't be afraid to be different, stand out. That type of marketing will always stand above somebody else that has something, that have a book that I've seen before. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You know, the guy sketched, little lines in his book with little stick figure kids. But it was different. It was something that made people say, wow, that's new. I'm interested in it. And lastly, think impact first, profit second. I've been in the industry 9 years in construction. I actually finally left because the industry needs some changing. Let's just say that. And many people go from their bottom line. The company I was with, lastly, the only reason they didn't tank because they're a sister company to a bigger company that bailed them out each time. If they didn't have that sister company, the way they ran business, they would be out of business. Because again, your reputation precedes you. They were running people, they had employees, they were running ragged, 3-hour shifts, because they couldn't get their stuff together. And so they were having their employees do 3rd shifts, tired. One lady collapsed, a painter, she was doing a thing in Universal, collapsed on Universal property, where the ambulance had to pick her up. These are things that OSHA finds out, the Humane Society finds out. It's not good. It's just to say it's not good. So if you think of impact first, okay, we want an environment, we want a culture that people can come to work, be safe, be healthy, and go home to their families. That is a way better model than, okay, let's get the job done, no matter if we're messing up and we did the wrong thing, we underbid, I don't care, we want you to work overtime. It will always show in your product, and trust me, it'll come back to haunt you. Man, this is a lot, sorry, I think I took a lot longer than I thought. So we'll speed through here. Just remember, business is hard, so don't be hard on yourself. You'll make mistakes, you'll figure things out. It's gonna be tough, it's gonna be a tough road, but to me it's a good thing, because every time, Arnold Schwarzenegger, no, it was Muhammad Ali said, they asked him, how many times do you count your reps, or how many push-ups do you do? He says, I don't know, I start counting them when they start hurting. There's strength in pain. So it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself if you make a mistake. Don't be hard on yourself if you invested in something and everything completely collapsed. As long as you keep the principles right, you'll be fine. But don't ever be hard on yourself if, hey, things didn't work out the way you thought they were going to. It happens. Again, Walt Disney filed for bankruptcy twice. One of the biggest companies on the planet. Alibaba didn't make his first penny till 3 years in. Jeff Bezos didn't make his first penny till about 2 years in. Les Brown had a nervous breakdown. It's going to happen, it's fine, it's part of the process. But as long as you have a mission, you won't quit, because it's something that's in you. So don't be hard on yourself if things get a little tough. Just know that going in, it's part of the process. And build that callus, that muscle. Like when you're lifting weights, the harder it is, great. That means I'm building muscle, I'm building strength. He knows, look at the guy, he got big arms, man, So just always know that that's how you build strength. So lastly, before I go, is be broad in your marketing. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Medium, YouTube, and me and my wife are actually doing a podcast on Anchor starting in a few months. Reason why is a broad spectrum, because everyone retains or takes information differently. Some people love videos, some people love the written word, some people just like a quick picture, some people want an emotional post, and some people want to listen. So if you cover all your avenues, all your bases, I'm a big Gary Vaynerchuk. Anybody know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? Yeah, I'm a huge Gary Vaynerchuk fan, and he's on every. You go to any social media platform, you'll find him. That's what helped him catapult, because whatever you're looking for, you can find. He'll give you some great information. Even books, like he said, he hates writing books, but the only reason he made books is because he knew that was a different platform for people to take him in. So just whatever you do, try to be in multimedia facets, and don't just do one thing. First start with what you're good at. I started with mostly Instagram, but then I built it into a Facebook following, a Medium following, YouTube, and so forth. You can find me if you are curious of any other products that I have, anything that I'm doing. You can go to any of those social media outlets, type in Rich Fontaine, or my company, Power of Self, and you'll find me. You could always email me if you're interested. I'm always good to answer any questions you have about industry, mentorship. Get a mentor. Even if my mentors are in books and in real life. So get a mentor. Whatever you're trying to do, once you figure it out, find who's great in that industry, read their biography, find what they're talking about, find their mindset. How they think is so important. Somebody told me, where do millionaires hide their money? Does anyone know? Anyone?
In the mattress.
Yeah, you would think, right? In the backyard. They said in books. Every single successful person has wrote a book or had a book written about them, about their life, their trials, their tribulations. I read Andrew Carnegie's book and I was inspired by it because I saw his path to greatness. And I said, okay, if he took these steps, these are the principles he lives by. If I follow those same principles, I can move forward as well. So those people are my mentors. So I follow who's great in the industry. He was great in construction. He started the main construction industry. And so I followed his biography and saw how he thought. And that's what helped me become successful. And also, you can find me at richfontaine.com, where you can actually send me your information. I can email you any of the products that I have, seminars that I have around the city and in the country. And I really hope that you guys took value of this class. I know it was a lot of information, but I truly believe everyone has a purpose and something that they were meant to do. And if you can find that, you're guaranteed success. So that's it for me, and I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Any questions?
What was the name of your first book again?
My first book was called Destiny on Purpose. It is on Amazon, you can find it. Yeah, and you can find it on richfontaine.com as well. But yeah, I actually have it here in the front. I have a sample of the book, of just the breakdown of the 20 laws. Again, I like to give stuff for free. I love to give value, so if you're curious about it, you can take it there and hopefully it does something that impacts you. Any other questions?
Anything else?
Yeah, it gives me something, right? Yeah. I can ask you guys some questions.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, man, not the actual book, the sample book. You gotta pay for that one, brother. No problem. You know, I graduated here, so I can tell you some stuff about the school. You know, it's tough. So when I graduated, it was in 2012 when the industry wasn't great, nobody was really hiring, and I found an internship right after I graduated. Does anyone want to know how? Or why?
You were extroverted.
I'm actually an introvert. That's the funny part. Yeah, like after here, I'm probably gonna go home and meditate and have a nice shower because this takes a lot of energy out of me. I'm actually an introvert, but I'm driven, if that makes sense. I just have a drive that says I want to be a certain place. After I changed my life, I said I want to move forward, and I just have this mentality that nothing's going to stop me. Did everybody see the Avengers movies? Yeah. There's a quote in there that I just love. There's a scene in the Age of Ultron when Ultron sends all these robots at them, and they beat the first horde, right? And Thor says, "Is that the best you can do?" Even though he's tired, he's beat up. It's just that's the mindset sometimes you gotta have to have. Even though I'm tired, I'm beat up, bring it on. Let's go. And I feel like you have that type of drive, you're a bulldozer. But what happened was I emailed the professor, and I told, hey, listen, I want to work at your company. He said, well, we're not doing internships. So I emailed him back and said, well, can I just come shadow? Well, I don't think we're doing shadowing. Well, can I just visit? And I just kept emailing him, so he was like, yeah, come by. And when I came by, no, seriously, when I came by, he's like, I didn't really think you were serious. And I came in a suit. I mean, I was that serious, and didn't have a job. They didn't have a shadowing for me. But what happened was I came in there and I shadowed some people. That one guy ended up being my mentor from there, named Terry Miller. He was a project manager for Atkins, still from the FDOT, and he just liked me. He sat me in his office and said, hey, I appreciate that you came here. What is your mission? What is your drive? And I told him I want to be a project manager like you. And he said, okay, I'll write you a referral. He wrote me a referral. I went out, sent a bunch of applications with that referral letter, and then I ended up getting a job 2 months after that, when most of my friends couldn't still find a job. It's about having a purpose, it's about having a mission, and there's not taking no for an answer. To me, that's marketing. That's marketing yourself, is I don't take no for an answer. I'm willing to do I'll come work for free. People say, okay, if you have that type of ambition, that type of drive, I want to work with you. So that's just key takeaway. So thank you.